You've come to beg on the door. Forgive me, Delilah, I just couldn't take anymore.
This is Callum from the Bear Pit TV, bringing you some Stoke City news. The biggest things come out of the club this week are just the ins and outs and players, and a lot of rumours based on who's leaving, who's staying, who we might be bringing in. The first big one is from Ginelli Mbula. He shared on his Facebook an article from just a sports writing page saying that, or suggesting why Stoke should bring him back. Obviously that doesn't seem like a lot, but I think for football players who usually are pretty secret, they don't really say a lot on social media, or at least sort of invest themselves in articles about themselves. Mbula sharing this statement, sharing this article is sort of a big statement for the club, and I think it's something that we can look at optimistically. He clearly intends to come back at the club, and he thinks that the club should have him back. So based on that, I think there's a good chance that he might be on the way back, or at least is favourable about a move back to the Brit. Shaq's sort of confirmed he's leaving. He said that there's no secret to the club, no secret to the fans that he is going to be leaving. I think we all saw this coming. I think that's probably why it hasn't hit home as much as we thought it might. We expected him to leave. There's obviously been a lot of talk from Tottenham over 12 million move. Based on him coming out and being so honest about it, I think that's a good thing for the club, a good thing for the fans, because we can sort of look past Shaqiri now and hopefully look at his replacements and things like that. Another one on the way out, or so it looks like on the way out, Huddersfield are after Ramadan Sobhi. Now, based on his performances over the last couple of years, I don't think he's going to be a huge miss. Obviously, we are lacking a lot of depth out wide now. If Sobhi does leave, Chippo looks on the way out, Shaq's leaving as well. It's going to be another winger who seems to be leaving, but I don't think he's going to be that big of a miss, provided we do bring someone else in. His final product hasn't been there. He came with a lot of hype to the club, and he just hasn't really followed through with that. So I don't think that's going to be a big miss either. Be interesting to see if we do miss him or who we do bring in. So do let us know in the comments who you think we should bring in. Are you sad to see Sobhi go, and do you think we should try to keep him? In other news, Butland's been given the number 13 shirt for England. I think it was a toss-up between him and Pickford as to who would get the number 1 shirt. Both had relatively similar seasons, relatively average seasons. You know, for every game that Butland kept us in, he had a couple of cock-ups, but same with Pickford. I don't think either of them have been stellar this season. So it really was a toss-up. Again, being given the number 13, that says all you need to know. It doesn't look like he's going to be starting, so be interesting to see if he does get any appearances in the World Cup. But I don't think this is going to affect his price tag particularly at all. There's obviously a lot of clubs looking after him. Liverpool, Chelsea have been mentioned as well. He almost certainly will leave. Not being picked for England, or not being the number 1 for England, shouldn't really have too much an impact on his price tag. Rowett's now back off his holidays, so business can begin, I guess. Vidra has sort of been on the quiet side at the moment, and the big talking points are James McLean and Benik Afobe. Now McLean, again, he's going to divide the fan base quite considerably based on his political views, but obviously this isn't a political channel, nor am I in the position to make comments on that. I think that based on his ability as just a footballer, it's not an awful signing. I think he's had better days. He's 29 years old, which I didn't believe. Thought he was way younger than that. But I think he's definitely had better days. We saw signs of him as a good player at West Brom, and he had spells at Wigan before that, and you know, he did decently well, and he looked like a half-decent player, but you know, is he going to light up the Championship? Who knows? And I really do think if he was a particularly good player or a particularly strong player, I'm sure West Brom, who are in the same position as us, with being relegated, hoping to bounce back up, they probably would have kept, or at least tried to keep him. The big one, apparently we are in advanced talks with Benik Afobe. Now, although he hasn't done it in the Premiership, he's definitely proven in the Championship. Last year he had 7 starts for Wolves, 9 as a sub, scoring 6, so not a bad record at all. The season before that he had 23 goals in 48, and the year before that he had 19 goals in 30 games in League One. Based on the options that we've got up front now, Juve Berahino, obviously Tyrese Campbell, who may or may not be given a shot this season, I think Benik Afobe could be a good signing. 13 million or 12 million is what the proposed fee is. That could work out just fine. Again, I really don't think anything bad could come of this, because we really don't have any other striking options, so I'm all for the move. Finally, the pre-season tour has been announced. We're going to be heading to North Germany, having sort of the mini tournament thing again before ending our pre-season with a trip to Sao Paulo, who are our partnered club. Again, didn't expect to be lighting the world up with any big pre-season games particularly, none of whom can be worse than the scheduled game against Wolves. I don't know who's managed to create that one, but that's just not what you want to see. Wolves fans are going to have a field day taking the mick, but yeah, it seems like a decent pre-season. I'm sure plenty of fans will get out to North Germany, be a good few days out, be a good week out, and hopefully we can get a good idea of who's going to be in the squad. Hopefully he brings in a couple of new players before the pre-season tour so we can get a look at them. So please do let us know in the comments what you do think. Mbula, do you think that's a big statement, him sharing that on Facebook, and do you think we should try and get him back? McLean, are you sort of on the side of not worth the hassle, or do you think he could do a job for us? Again, Benik Afobe in really advanced talks, so we're interested to see if he comes. Do you think he can do a job for us? Like, comment, subscribe, and thanks again.